don't pick that life picked you. Welcome to Sit Down News, and before I begin, I'd like to mention our sponsor. Ratchet is a clothing company from the UK started by a young man with a vision, a dream, and determination. They have various prints and styles for men, women, and children. I'll include a link to their website down below in the description for this video. From the very beginning, the Lucchese leadership hailed from Harlem and the Bronx. Before the family took on the name Lucchese, it had several bosses: Gaetano Riina, Thomas Gagliano, followed by the family's namesake, Thomas Lucchese, and then Tony Ducks Corallo, all of whom were Harlem Bronx guys. Tony Ducks was the last Harlem-based boss, that is until Vic Amuso and Gaspipe took the reins and the power to Brooklyn. However, during my time, the family base of power shifted back to the Bronx. Matty Madonna was the acting boss, Stevie Crea was the underboss, and Joe DiNapoli was our consigliere. But in June of 2015, Matty Madonna was sentenced to 5 years in prison, and by April of 2016, Joe DiNapoli received a 3-year sentence. Both sentences were the result of a 2007 racketeering and gambling indictment. So by early 2016, the Lucchese family had 2 top positions empty. At that time, the family was run by the underboss Stevie Crea. Just a year later, in 2017, Matty Madonna and Joe DiNapoli were indicted again. The indictment was for racketeering and the murder of Purple Gang leader Michael Melnish. This indictment included Stevie Crea. Our entire administration was in jeopardy. Fast forward to May 30th, 2019. An article in the New York Post was titled, "Lucchese Leadership Changed Hands in a Bloodless Coup Orchestrated from Prison," a crafty title by its even craftier author. The article went on to say, in prison for life mafia boss Vittorio Vic Amuso sent a coded letter from jail to longtime underboss Stevie Wonder Crea in 2017. The message: Brooklyn-based Lucchese wise guy Michael Big Mike DeSantis was to take the reins of acting boss from Bronx-based Matty Madonna. If Madonna didn't step aside, Amuso had a hit list that included a captain and several members of the family. I'm going to stop here and just say, this is what happens when a journalist has lost all integrity for his profession. And let me add, a journalist who is sitting in a courtroom listening to testimony about this. A journalist who only thinks of his pocket rather than reporting the truth. By 2017, I became very close to both Patty Della Rosa and Mikey DeSantis. Mikey and I were in the same crew, which was the Brooklyn faction of the Lucchese family. During this time, Stevie had a feeling he would be indicted. Naturally, members of the family was discussing the void in our administration. We knew the Bronx would be putting their people into place to fill these positions. At the end of the day, we were one family, but make no mistake, the Brooklyn and Bronx factions had no love for each other. In a family, or a bogata as we would say, the power base lies within the borough the leadership is in. The very first person to try to make a play for a position was Bubsy Casali, a move which we all found comical. He made 2 mistakes. First, he told everyone his intentions, and secondly, he tried to enlist Joey DiBenedetto into helping him. For those of you who may not know, Joey's the son-in-law of Lucchese boss Vic Amuso. Mikey DeSantis, who had been close to Vic, also wanted to make a move. So basically, they were a group of guys, including Patty Della Rosa and myself, who wanted the family's power back in Brooklyn. Patty had come to me and said that Mikey wanted me to go speak with Joey DiBenedetto about getting a letter to Vic, saying there was a group of guys out here loyal to him ready to fill these positions. I went to go see Joey at his house, but before I could say anything, he wanted to go take a walk with me. He started complaining about Bubsy and other guys coming to him to send Vic a message. He felt they should use protocol and go through their captains, and he was right about that. So I wasn't going to turn around after hearing him complain and say, "Hey, we need you to send a message to your father-in-law." I never mentioned why I was there and he didn't ask. I guess he was just happy he had me to vent to. I explained what happened to Patty and told him forget about using Joey. A few days later, Patty and I were in Bella Notte, a Long Island restaurant we stayed in. The place was actually a Gambino spot that was with Nicky Carrazzo. Patty told me not to worry about the letter, that Mikey found another way to get it to Vic. He said hopefully this all goes peacefully, but if not, Mikey said we know we could count on you, and I said absolutely. Had things not gone peacefully, we would have taken members of the Bronx crew out with no hesitation. Vic sent the letter back to Mikey giving his blessing. Now let me make something very clear. There was no hit list whatsoever. And for the people in the back who may not have heard, there was no hit list whatsoever. Subsequently, a meeting took place with Stevie to discuss Vic's letter. That meeting went good. Mikey DeSantis walked out as the new acting boss. The base of power was back in Brooklyn, or at least it is for the time being. If you enjoyed this video, you could hit the like button. Thank you. You can subscribe to the Sit Down News blog at sitdownnews.com, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. Thank you. Well, just another example in the mob you never knew about. Hope you enjoyed the story. If you would like to subscribe to this channel, you could do so down below. If you would like to subscribe to my other channel, Unlimited Substance Podcast, I'll add a link in the description to this video.